What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're taking a look at the Vtoys Death Knight, aka like anime style knight Batman, kind of medieval style. And I just want to start off by saying that this figure is not originally looking like this. It's completely black. I did go ahead and added a white dry brushing. This is the exact color I used, and I'll probably be adding like a picture of the original character somewhere right here. But kind of the main reason why I did that is obviously if you guys seen the picture, a lot of the detail escapes when it's just all black, and that's because of shadowing and different things that have to do with lighting and just coloring. And I feel like a lot of that gets lost in translation when it's just all black. And I mean, it's completely fine as is, but I personally wanted to be able to see all the detail, and I think it came out really good. And just before we jump into the accessories and everything, I just want to show off the sculpt real quick. And it's freaking gorgeous, man. As you can see, the shoulder, you can see all of those details. And it's more like kind of like a berserker armor Batman really than anything. And then I'll show why I say it's Batman. It's not actually Batman, but it's definitely inspired by, in my opinion. He's got like kind of an exoskeleton look as well. So, looks really dope, man. It has amazing detail. And then let's just knock out the accessories real quick. So pretty much he comes with like a pretty, average set of hands, some open hands. He comes with two fist hands. So you go ahead. And then I dry brush pretty much everything. So, and then he does come with more of like a loose grip hand for the right, or no, they're both grip hands. So really good, man. And then he does come with like this skull, which I remember watching The Amazing's review of this guy like a long time ago, and I still don't know what this skull is for. It fits on the peg of the head, but it doesn't look. It's super tiny in comparison. And then he does come with another head sculpt, which is really nice looking, and it still has a lot of detail. But personally, I feel like it looks too much like a bug. Kind of looks like a praying mantis or something like that, and I don't like that, to be honest. And then we got the like a small sword. This is just kind of a regular type sword. And then he comes with like a scythe, which is freaking huge, man. It's bigger. It's bigger than the figure itself. And then he does come with the lantern, and as far as I'm aware, there's no like button on here or anything to turn it on. So I don't think it's a functioning lamp, but it is there. And then I dry brush that as well. And then it does come with like a little hook. So like if you want to have him holding it, you want to put it in one of his hands, you can, have it. And then final and probably my favorite accessory that it comes with is this like giant like buster type sword. And this is why I say it's kind of like an anime, like medieval Batman type deal. And then, so the back and a couple parts of this figure are magnetic, but this is also magnetic. So if you go ahead and take a look, you can see the magnet right there. And then that's the wrong side. It does hold it. Like, it doesn't hold it that well. Like, I think it falls off. Like, if you wiggle it a little bit. Or no, it holds pretty well. I stand corrected. And then you can just go ahead. Either you can have it over. It does hold it, but definitely not as well. And then you could just kind of, have his cape hanging over it. And then also it does come separately. Or I bought mine used already off OfferUp, so mine came with the cape separated. But I don't know if it comes with it on the original figure, like already on or not. But basically, it does. Like there's like some little slots right here, and then you just slot it in, but you can take it off. And then just for the review, I'm gonna go ahead and take mine off. Okay, real quick before we jump into articulation, I just wanted to show that the cape or cloak is bendable or has bendy wire, and then it does have two little ports right here for the ears on both heads, and then it does have a wire right here at the cape. So if you kind of want to have it like, kind of covering his whole face, you could kind of grab it and then just bend it on one side, and then you'll be good to go. But now moving on to the figure, and then I've been kind of posing it. Freaking camera overheated, so I need to give it a little break. But I've been posing it, and I'm just gonna say that like for the amount of detail and sculpt that this figure has, it's just amazing. The amount of articulation that it has. And if you guys are anywhat familiar with Vtoys, you guys kind of know what you're getting into, as I'm pretty sure all of their figures are based on the 112 male body sculpt. Just obviously they have like their own additional sculpts and detail and whatnot. But for looking up, you're gonna look up pretty good. Looking down, really good, and then just kind of straighten it out. You're gonna get till 360 all the way, but mine is painted, so I don't want to mess that up. But you do clash right here on the side, so just be careful with that. And then for the shoulders, with the things on, and this is probably the only area that I think is an issue. I don't know if I've stated that already, but it is like on a magnet, as you can see. And then let me go ahead and put this back in while I'm doing it. You are going to be able to get it pretty high up. Like that's without dropping it or anything. Is right around there is like comfortable where you're not going to drop it. But if you do want to get like some of those, tighter poses where you're going up a lot more, it does magnetize, which is pretty surprising. Like it's not going to just straight up fall, even though it fell right there. Making me look bad, figure. But so it's not the best. It does hold like a little bit. Like as you can see, I'm not like completely tipping it over. It still has a little bit of magnetism, but it's definitely not as good. So just in case you're watching this and you're curious, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna put like just a little tiny bit of hot glue right here in the corner, right at the tip of the shoulder pad. That way, instead of having the point of where it's attaching right here to where it's just gonna fall off, and I'm not talking about the arm. For some reason, it's just doing that. I think I need to loosen up that shoulder joint. But instead of it being right here, whereas you can see this gets a lot closer to here, and then there's really nowhere for this top point to go. And although it's soft, it's still not gonna move with it, right? It's just physics, So I think if you make it move right here, like we'll just, I'll hold it. If you move what the hell is going on, man? Why is that thing just flying off? That's kind of pissing me off now. It was working just fine earlier. I guess I need to add a little bit of shock oil right there. But as you can see, it's not going to move. It's just going to stay right here, locked right there at that tipping point right there. And you're going to be good to go. But for the rest of the articulation, I'm going to just take that off. But as you can see, I was kind of playing with the sticky tack earlier to see how it worked, and that seems to work the best. You are going to get over T-pose, basically like a Y pose pretty much. And then for shoulder, or for I'm sorry, but I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm being too aggressive with it or something, but you're not gonna get much on that butterfly joint. There's really no butterfly joint, unfortunately. You are getting double hinge on the biceps. You do get bicep swivel. Mine was a little tight, a lot tighter than this, but now it's pretty good, and you can get 360, but I don't think you're ever gonna need that all the way. So the wrists, sorry, I had a brain fart there, are on hinge ball joints, so pretty solid. And then probably the best area for this figure, and this is kind of the saving grace as far as the articulation and like being able to get those dynamic poses, is the torso. So going down, just using the upper abdomen, you get about that much, not using anything else, and then about that far going backwards, not using anything else. And then with the combination of the lower joint, you're going to get about that far which is really good. It's better than most figures. And then going back, you're gonna get really far. And then also, for all of this stuff going on, you would think, oh, it's probably not gonna be that great. Well, you're getting pretty much more than 90, and then you do get double hinge, and then the ankles are on ball joints, so you get about that much going back, about that much going forward, and then you get that much tilt, and then that much tilt. I would say the ankle is a little bit lacking, but right here going sideways, it's not it's pretty good. I think you're gonna be able to get full splits. Yeah, kind of surprised myself there for a second because I hadn't done it yet, but you're getting about that much, so it's really freaking good, man. I would say that for the most part, I think where it has shortfalls, the highlights of the figure really make up for it. And aside from that, it's a freaking beautiful figure, and honestly, it's kind of surprising that it even has the articulation that it does. I would say that if you're willing to deal with that, with the magnets not being very strong, and you not really being able to pose it right there unless you're willing to modify it a little bit, I think besides that, it's a freaking phenomenal figure. It's beautiful. This was like a figure I've always wanted, and finally I was able to get my hands on it for a good price. I'm not gonna pay double the price just because it's older. Like, I'd rather not have it than pay that amount of ridiculous price. We have so many good figures coming out now to where it'd be a waste of money. But since I was able to get it for a really good price, I'm very happy with it. And then again, doing that gray wash over it just highlights all of those details. And then even with that, like, I haven't even modded it yet, I can still get it into some pretty nice poses. But without further ado, let's get into some size comparisons. Okay, and starting off here to the left, this is based on the Vtoys 112 scale male body. Obviously, it's been customized to be a Carnage, and pretty much it's all new sculpt on it. I've talked about this figure, and I do have a review for it. Um, but pretty much you can see the heights are pretty similar. I do think the Death Knight is a little bit taller, and I think that's more of a design choice really than anything else, because it is supposed to be 112 scale, and he's almost the same height as Bane, and I don't know if that's super accurate, but I think that's why I'm saying I think it's a design choice. I think he's supposed to be like bigger and kind of more intimidating, seeing that he's like a knight version of the Batman, rather than just a normal Batman. And then here he is paired with a standard Marvel Legends figure, just so you guys can kind of see the scale of it. Okay, and here I got him next to some actual Batman figures. Here on the right, we have the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Triumphant Batman. And this one is like 112 scale as well, I believe. I know that imports usually do run a little bit smaller, so that's kind of here and there. That's why I'm saying, like, for me personally, it's not really an issue. But if you're really anal about scale, this might not fit with you. As you can see, we have the McFarlane design version of Batman from the DC Multiverse line, and he's more in line, like closer to that height. So it's kind of in the middle. So that's why I say it works pretty well, especially if you can, kind of overlook that. And that's really not a big issue for you. That's definitely something you can work around. And then kind of just final one. I'm not gonna do too many, just as it's kind of its own thing, so it doesn't really make sense to try to compare to everything else. Um, this is correct me if I'm wrong, it's Color Tops. Um, the Spawn, I don't know exactly the name of the figure. I kind of can't really remember off the top of my head, but it is a Spawn figure. And this Batman definitely reminds me of, like, it kind of strikes me as like, what if Spawn and Batman fused? Just because he has that, like, kind of organic look to his suit, where it looks almost like it's alive a little bit, and for some reason this thing is just not focusing. But yeah, I did show a close up earlier, so you can just go ahead and go back. But as you can see, it definitely has like some of the trademark characteristics for Spawn. But let me know what you guys think. I love this freaking figure. I think it's beautiful. I am gonna go ahead and do those mods just because I want to be able to pose a figure without those shoulder pieces falling off all the time, and it just it bothers me, so I don't want to deal with that. But let me know what you guys think of the video and of the figure. And as always, if you guys can go ahead and drop a like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think of the video by dropping a comment down in the comment section. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good day. Peace.